Bandwidth for all shows on the Aussie Tech Heads network is supplied by Aussie Tech Heads web hosting. For a fast, affordable and reliable Australian server with fantastic support, contact Aussie Tech Heads web hosting at aussietechheads.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's best hosting service.
Welcome. Another episode of Aussie Tech Heads this week. Thanks for joining us. This week's got a big lot of stories. I don't know about big, but there's a lot of them. Hope they interest you. We're going to go through the Australian stories and maybe some overseas stories as well. Stories from tech that interested us through the week that we've picked out from various news sources. And we thought, oh yeah, we can have a gas bag about those. Aussie Tech Heads is brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au. So if you want to go in and get some hosting, you know where to go, athwebhosting.com.au. And also, thank you, broadcasting around regional Australia on Phase FM. You can go to phasefm.com.au to see their webpage, or if you want to listen to their live stream, you can either put it on a radio and tune into 104.5, or you can get it on the Shoutcast and on a little tune-in app on your radio, on your iPhone. How's that grab you? All right, good stuff. Hi, Jace. How you going?
Hey, dude, what's up?
Oh, not much, man. Not much. Just cruising along. Another week's gone. Your birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks for that. Bought myself a present already last weekend.
Oh, what did you get? Got
a LG 24-inch IPS monitor and a dual monitor stand, so I can have two monitors here now.
Oh,
I'm actually just going to get another BenQ because I've already got one, but then I was reading that IPS is a way to go now for better quality and stuff. So I was like, yeah, it's not that much more expensive, so I might as well get it for future proof, and loving it. Yeah, it's great having the two here now. There's much more room to put all my stuff on there. Yep. I had my Samsung 26-inch LCD TV, which has got that much bezel on both sides, which is huge. Trying to jam that in next to, and it just couldn't fit in the space. So I was like, yeah, why not?
Well, you know, you'll find that you'll never be able to go back to one. Like,
yeah. That's right. Yeah,
you'll be walking down the street and you'll be using your Samsung Galaxy Tab or whatever you've got. You'll be using your tab, and then you go, oh, I can't handle one screen. So you go and buy another one. You walk down the street with one in each hand from now on. You know, got two monitors.
Well, I've already got the HTC One phone in this one and the tab in this one. So why not?
Hey, phone me, bro. Phone me.
I got two eyes. I need two monitors, so it makes sense.
That's right. And you can
I got two hands and two beers.
Well, hey. Well, you get a cap, one of those caps with the straws and put the beers in the head and the straw and there you go. That'll free up some space.
Then all you need to do is get a missus so she can refill your hat.
Oh, hi, Will. How you going? That's William.
Know what that noise is.
How are we doing?
Good. What are you up to?
Speaking of buying presents for yourself, I just bought myself a Sound Blaster USB X-Fi surround sound thing. We noticed when we're doing our podcast, because we had so many different versions of Java going on, the sound card used to freak out and it sort of do the whole robot thing.
Oh, right.
And
what podcast would that be?
This thing, which basically takes the load off the CPU and it handles the load in the actual module itself, and then it just sends the sound back to direct digital sound after all the processing's done and everything, and made a huge difference.
Happy days.
CPU doesn't do any of the processing now, so frees that up.
Yeah, okay. And what was that? A Sound Blaster? What sort of card? USB sound card?
They call them a Sound Blaster. Yeah, the USB. They're an X-Fi. They were, if you look around on eBay, I think we found the cheapest one was about $90 or something last night.
Yeah, right.
Up to $300 I saw them, but my little local computer store had it for like $75. So
he got it from Messi.
From where?
I might get one.
Messi.
MSY.
Oh, MSY. You know, they still haven't reopened up here at Varsity Lakes, and I rang him up the other day because they closed down because the joint burnt down. And I rang him up the other day. They've been closed for, must be a good 5-6 months. And I think, how long does it take to rebuild a burnout building, like a burned out
A week.
concrete box. How long does that take, you know? So anyway, I went down there. I rang him up last week or whatever, because up on the site under the Varsity Lakes it says under construction. But then I noticed it said, no, it's closed. And so I rang him up and said, what's going on with Varsity Lakes? They go, it's closed. I went, yeah, I know. When's it opening? It's not. And, you know, talking to some people's like pulling
Dead,
teeth.
Jim.
Yeah. And I said, well, it's not coming back. You're never opening. You close it down. The guy's out of work. What's going on? And they said, yeah, he's out of work. He's finished. I said, all right. So anyway, I was passing by there today, went for a drive in. They're still building this thing. They're still fitting the empty cement shell out. I can't believe it. Like, it's out of control. God, seriously, get a wriggle on. But anyway, so how much of that? $70, $90, Will?
From MSY, it was 75-ish. From everywhere else, the cheapest, as I said, even on eBay, the cheapest I could find was like 90. So, seems MSY is, I don't know if they bought 7 million of them to do them, get them a good price, but it's really good. It's got a really long USB. It's got like a 3-meter USB cable, so you can actually reach down the back of the computer, up around the desk, over all the crap. You still have plenty of room.
Good.
If you
I'm
look at
tempted to get the PCI one.
Yeah, well, if you've got the room inside your computer, run the PCIe one because it does the same job, but it's internal. I don't, because I've got 2 video cards, so I don't have the processing room for that. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I know things are getting pretty cheap. Like, I haven't bought a printer for a little while, I suppose. But today I had need to go and get one for someone. So I went out and I thought, oh, yeah, they want a wireless laser. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, well, what's that going to be? Like, I bought a USB laser one about 2 years ago. It cost me about $60. I thought, oh, yeah, wireless, maybe 150, 160. Went down there, had a nice little Brother, still got it over here, a Brother HL2135W. $80.
$80.
$80.
Yeah.
I got about a year ago or something. Well, my mum does a lot of poetry competitions, and she's always getting me to send them to her. And I figured, well, rather than sending a USB back and forward with the files on and get them to print it out, I'll print it all down here on a laser. So I went shopping and went to local Office Works, and they had a wireless HP. And it goes really well. It's only like $85 or something.
Yeah,
Does everything.
I couldn't believe it. So I know the next one that I'm going to buy, I'm going to consolidate. I've got 3 printers behind me. You probably can't see them. There's 1, 2, 3. 1 colour laser, 1 black and white laser, and 1 fax inkjet multifunction. I'm going to consolidate. I think you can consolidate now into a laser multifunction colour. I think you can go for under 300. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I've got a
and duplex.
HP multifunction laser duplexer fax. It's inkjet, but it has what they call the endless ink system, where the tanks are external and they just run on hoses and go inside and fill up. I'm waiting on a black cartridge, on a black head for that to become available.
Yeah.
Once I get that though, was a $400 printer, but the one sitting on top of it that we're using in the meantime is a $38 Officeworks Canon. That's the photo quality, and
nice.
It's every bit as good. So, and the cool part actually is, if you pull the power pack out of it, it's actually 12-volt power supply. So if you wanted to, you could use it as a portable printer.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty good. Now, I don't know if you can hear those little computer noises. Can you hear those little blings that are going on?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you what they are. Now, this is why I buy stuff like this, and you can buy it as well. Not that I'm selling it. It's on the. There's a link.
Get it now, Glenn's Discount House Warehouse.
Stop! Don't wait.
Sale.
But there's more. There's more. No,
Brothers.
It's actually it's Malware Bytes. Now it's sitting in the background because you pay for it. Like, it cost me $30 or something, and it's sitting in the background, and it's actually blocking internet sites. Can you? Now I'm not browsing. There it goes again. It's blocked 37.221.165.196, whatever that website might be. So there's obviously something hitting my my computer, and it's trying to get some info. So that's how good that little Malware Bytes is. Now, if you want to get a copy, because I do recommend it, it is there's a graphic link down the bottom of the web page, aussietechheads.com.au/podcast. There is a little link, graphic little ad linky thing, and I put it there because I know how valuable something like that is. So check that out. But I'm not selling it. That's not me. It takes you back straight to their good site.
How much commission do you get for this?
Oh, look, I don't know. We haven't worked
Affiliate
that out.
referral link, right?
Probably, probably 2 cents. Yeah, no, but look, it wouldn't be there if I didn't recommend it, and I would definitely, because it saves me heartache, for sure. All right, now I think we've gone through everything. What else I didn't get anything new this week. I'm the only one.
Haha.
Yeah.
You go to the cupboard that you've got down the back that's still got stuff in it from 3 years ago you haven't opened, and grab one of those randomly and go, hey, look what I've got.
Well, I still you would not.
We won't know any different.
No, I tell you, I know. I've got to start selling some stuff because I've still got in that cupboard pieces for a full AMD machine. Can you believe it? I got it's not a fast one or anything, but I got the board, the chip. Probably don't have the RAM, but just the board and the chip and the something else. I don't know. I've got to start selling it. It's going to be obsolete. I'm going to get rid of it.
Mine.
You want it? 900.
I'll buy it. Done.
Yeah, it's AMD, Will. You don't like AMD.
Hey?
Hey.
What planet are you from?
You what? All right. Well, before
No, you're the freak that doesn't like them. You like Intel and Apple. I mean, the two most opposite ends of the spectrum.
Oh, look, they're all right. Look, before we get into the stories, I was going to get used to. Oh, that's right. I was going to ask you what podcast were you talking about before that you do. Tell us about that, just quickly. What do you do?
Sure, baby Warlock, you can explain it.
Well, we have a Minecraft podcast called The Obsidian Loft, and we talk about all the latest things to do with Minecraft, including the Xbox version, the Pocket PC version, the computer version, anything you can think of, and all the different flavors like Feed the Beast, Tekkit, Spigot, Bucket, all of these weird names.
Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah,
All right. Now,
Terra Firmacraft.
you better just tell us quickly website.
www.obsidianloft.com.
Good stuff. All right. So we'll go there. Well, that was a nice jovial
I
entrance.
don't see a Malwarebytes link on that page that you mentioned.
Oh, are you serious?
Serious?
What, AussieTechHeads.com.au/podcast.
Yeah, that redirects to /ATHV.
Yeah. Right down the bottom.
Yep.
No,
Right down the bottom.
I'll reload it with /podcast on the end, see if it redirects.
No, it
again.
doesn't matter. It'll just go to ADHV.
Yeah, right down the bottom has got next live show about the host, a picture of Will going to sleep, specials, Aussie Mac Zone, become
Oh, let me have a look. It was there last time I
like
looked.
us, Tech Webcast, like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and find us on Google Plus.
What is it?
Yeah, it's down there. Right down the bottom.
Hmm?
Have you got an ad
wait.
blocker?
You probably. That's what I was just thinking.
Above
What is it?
the...
You got a name like Banner or something in
Oh,
the
it might be.
file
Yeah.
name, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, well, so that's what happens when you block banners. So it more fool you. Okay.
Or AdBlock does it by itself, and you don't have to tell it to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, no, otherwise, I like pages. I like seeing stuff. Some stuff.
I don't like the 4 billion pop-ups you get when you go to sites, so that's why I run AdBlock.
True,
It's
true.
just that simple.
And that one, I don't know what that
you shouldn't
is.
have to.
Bing!
Something.
We
not
have
at
the
all
machine
annoying.
that goes bing!
And it's
I'm
definitely
glad you got that one. It's the most expensive machine.
it's definitely having its go tonight. All right, let's start with some stories, shall we? Yeah, a couple of Microsoft stories this week. Can you believe it? So I'm going to try and break them up, and so we'll take it in turns. But I'll kick it off with my first Microsoft story. Office needs a tune-up, says Bill Gates. So Bill Gates has been interviewed by I think it was the Rolling Stone magazine, and he said that yes, he realizes that Office is a bit dated or out of date or whatever, in need of a tune-up. So I got a little quote for him here, saying that now that they need more than one tune. Blah, 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 blah. No, I don't have a quote. Sorry about that. But anyway,
Yeah,
now
I think, Windows and Office both kept bloating all the time. Now they've got Windows Slim right down for Windows 7 and 8. That'll run on just about anything like your 486 or something these days, because they got rid of all the cruft and crud.
Yes.
Now they need to do the same, put Office on a diet.
So do you think that when he says tune up, so you're thinking that he means yes, like take the bloat out of it, or does he mean like bring it up to speed with what people expect, which would lead me to my question, which would be, what do people expect? Like most people just want to write a letter and maybe
they want a word processor. Well, it's not just Office isn't just the word processor,
No.
but everything is overly bloated, and they try and jam everything in there, make it do everything, cook your toaster for breakfast and bacon and eggs and stuff, and it doesn't really need to do that. I mean, I like bacon and eggs, but
yeah, I bet you like pivot tables too. They are actually quite good pivot tables. I don't mind those. But anyway, that's what Microsoft's doing. Yeah. So look, later on in the show, I've got another couple of Office stories. But just remember this: Bill Gates has spoken. All right, Warlock, what do you got for us this week? Please.
yeah, a Queensland man has been accused of hacking a US-based video game company's computer network. Has been charged after a joint investigation between local police and the FBI. Police allege the 21-year-old Kingaroy man illegally accessed the network's databases and files, hacked the company's Twitter account where he allegedly posted confidential information and screenshots. He's also accused of setting up paid service allowing others to search the company's player database. Well, he's an enterprising young fella, then, isn't he?
He is. Isn't that where they sell nuts or grow nuts, Kingaroy? Is that what they do up there? Or is that's what I know? That's weird.
Something like that.
Nothing else.
They arrested him on a Fraser Coast property at Puna after 3 hours north of Brisbane, where they seized files from an encrypted storage device on computer.
Oh no!
Followed a raid on a Kingaroy property in November, where laptops and hard drives were seized.
So, yeah. Oh well.
Don't do the hacking, dudes. Be good.
Yeah. Well, how would it be a slow job out there, Kingaroy? Well, they must be on like dial-up out there, would they? ADSL 1, something like that. Be pretty slow.
Yeah, tin can.
Yeah, they'd have ADSL maybe.
Maybe. No, they probably got NBN. Are they Labor constituency,
No.
Eric? Where's Eric?
Most of it's rural, so they'd actually probably have satellite, 2-way satellite, so it probably actually is pretty quick.
Yeah, okay. Will,
Speaking of NBN
yes.
stuff, did you see the Twitter war that's going on at the moment with Malcolm Turnbull?
No. What's happening?
This woman sent him a message saying, we just moved into a new house. There's no ADSL, there's no NBN, there's no anything nearby, so we have to buy little dongles for all the computers. And he's like, well, why the hell did you move to a place where there's no ADSL?
Oh, yeah.
Not all of Australia is covered by ADSL, Mr. Rich Man. And we didn't know before we moved there because, when you move into a place, there's no way to tell if you can get ADSL.
No.
And after we moved in, they said, oh, all the ports are full at the exchange. You can't have it. He's like, well, we're trying to run a business from home. We need fast internet.
Yes.
And you guys are supposed to be helping us out here. And he's like, well, we should have moved somewhere where they had free ports of ADSL or something.
Oh, that is rubbish. Is he serious?
Yeah, what?
No, I can't believe it. I think he's smarter than that, isn't he? He can't be.
What planet
No.
is he from? No.
That's crazy stuff. So about saying
And
that.
someone said, look, dude, you're supposed to be fixing up the NBN and supplying it. He's like, yep, I'm going to deliver the NBN better and cheaper than Labor ever could. They're like, but you haven't done anything.
Oh,
And people can't get any kind of
What's going
fast
on?
internet anyway.
So I don't know if what are you up to speed with what's happening with the NBN? Like, what is the latest? Like, I haven't heard anything. It's just I heard that it stopped.
They're still rolling out slowly.
Yeah, but not as full fast as it was going out. But yeah, so
You're not going to get your 25 megs by 2016. It's guaranteed.
Oh, geez, that's terrible.
Doesn't matter
isn't
what
it?
they said before the election. This is after now.
Yeah,
Things change.
Things
We didn't
change.
know
So-
we didn't actually know how long it would take or how much it would cost. We just said that it would. Now we had to look. We're like, oh, it's going to be a lot more expensive and completely different to what we thought and slower and not possible by that date. Sorry. Well, no, sorry, but
yeah, bad luck.
bad.
Yes,
Yeah.
Will, you got comments on NBN that you're 2 meters away from?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I said it's that slow that it's still 4 doors down the street.
Oh, that is so bad. That's so. I feel for you in that situation, and anyone else. Imagine if it was next door, though. Oh, you'd be cutting your heart
No, if it was
out.
next
People
door,
have stuff like across the street.
I
Yeah,
know my neighbours, it'd be fine if it was next door.
even across the road, you'd expect to drive down Will Street and just as you run over the coax.
There's a network cable running thrown over the top of the power line
Yeah.
from house to house.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got a few motorbike riders going through the street. What the hell was that?
Yeah,
People
Will
across the bloody road.
at Will Street.
My
There's,
internet's down again.
there's no
Fiber optics made out of glass, you could slit his head off.
no gym boots, just Cat 6 wiring across the poles. All right, Will, take us in another direction, please.
Oh dear. Well, half the people who listen to this podcast are probably too young to remember a thing called virtual reality. There was a huge fad back, started I guess mid '80s, and by the end of the late '80s, it was sort of not a thing anymore.
Virtual boy.
But Sony, in conjunction with the PS4, has sort of basically bringing it back. They've unveiled a prototype virtual reality headset, and it's to be used in conjunction with the PlayStation 4 video game controller. The adjustable device currently is codenamed Morpheus, of course, because that's it features a head-mounted display with 1080p resolution, 90-degree field of view, sensors built into the head can track the wearer's head movements along with the camera that comes with the PS4. It'll come with a 4.5-meter cable, because apparently wireless technology is lost on Sony, and their virtual perspectives can be simultaneously broadcast on television screens. So basically, it takes multiplayer to a whole new level. Instead of two people sharing one screen, everybody wears a headset now, and
Right, nice.
and you get the goggles, and you
good.
can. There's a few different things they've got at the moment. One's called The Deep, which is a medieval combat game. Diving game called The Deep. Medieval combat game called The Castle. A sci-fi dogfighter called Eve Valkyrie. And an action adventure called Thief. So
nice.
they're planning it for actual full release at the end of the year in time for Christmas at this stage. And I was fortunate enough back. Oh gee, it'd have to be late 80s, like 88, 89, maybe early 90s.
You weren't born then, Will, were you? Young whippersnipper like you?
Yeah. Maybe like 90, maybe 90, 91. No, it was earlier than that. It was definitely in the 80s. But I was fortunate enough to actually have a go on the big virtual reality machines that had the big round cage around it, and the bumpers and the big massive helmet you had to wear, and the hand grip things you had, and
what about the 1960s virtual reality? Just 4x2 straight across the face.
That's called a king hit. No, it's not. It's called a cow punch.
Tried
That's
it with
right.
their virtual boy back in the day.
Well, that's right. That's the closest to virtual you were going to get, wasn't it? All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, as I told you, I said I had a few office stories. Stockmarket apparently has loved the announcement that Reuters have reported that on Monday, the Microsoft Chief Executive Satya Nadella would unveil the iPad app, an event on March the 27th. So the event will be Satya Nadella's first major public appearance since his appointment last month. And so things are looking good for him. Microsoft shares, they rose, can you believe it? And up to $39.90 US on Tuesday. And the rise, which is only 5%, adding $15 billion to Microsoft's market value. So at that price here, blah, blah, blah. The last time the shares were up in this region was around about the July 2000 when they hit $40 US. So pretty pales into pretty insignificance, doesn't it, when you compare to the price of Apple shares? If they keep going for a bit longer, they might be able to buy WhatsApp. Well, he did mention that in that interview that Gatesy was talking about, and he said, or is that coming up? That might be coming up in another story. So hold on to your pants. We'll get to that one. Yes. So yeah, blah blah blah. Up to 2 there. I think I've done everything. Yeah. They're just saying. Yeah, Google has been making inroads into the Microsoft Office business with its Google Drive applications, which include spreadsheets, presentations, and word processing tools. Last year, Apple offered free updates for life on its iWork business software, which includes the rival applications to Office. So we estimate this is Wall Street, I think. Analysis. No, maybe not Wall Street, just analysts. And analysts, and them too. Analysts said that the lack of an Office version for the iPad may have robbed Microsoft of billions of dollars in revenue. And quoting, we estimate that if 10% of the iPad install base were to subscribe to Office, then this could have added 15 million subscribers and generate 1.1 billion to 1.5 billion in consumer Office subscription revenue per year. So, geez, I don't know why they were holding back. It's a bit of a case of, I think, the reason why everyone thinks that they were holding back is because they didn't want to offer it onto the iPad, because then everyone loved the iPad. They'd just buy an iPad without going to Microsoft's version of the tablet. They still do. Well, they still do, I know, but
offices there or not, they still buy the iPads.
Well,
You might
yes.
as well get your office on there. You've missed years where you could have been raking in money for selling Office on the iPad, and instead
that's
you're
right.
like, no, we got this wonderful device here. Everybody's going to want the Surface. Nobody wants Surface One. Everybody's going to love Surface 2. Nobody wants Surface 2.
No one
All
wants it.
right, we'll put it on the iPad then.
Yeah.
Screwed a lot of years.
Yeah, well, I just think it's a bit of a case of biting your nose off to spite your face. You know, like
Yeah.
you've got a product. Like maybe this is the problem when you've got the two camps closely aligned. Maybe if you had to split the camps up, said you go look after your crap, you get Windows, you go look after yours, and then you do what you want, and see what happens. And it definitely would have happened before this, I would imagine. But good on the new guy.
They stuffed it up by getting into the hardware. They should have just stuck with the software.
Yeah, well, they wanted to be an Apple, but that's not going to work. So there you go. All right, Jace, what else have you got, please, for us?
Well, speaking of new things coming up, Google's revealed an Android for smartwatches. Google's bringing its Android software, which runs a majority of world smartphones, to high-tech watches and other wearable devices. Internet's most influential company announced the Android Wear operating system on Wednesday morning Australia time. LG's also got their own squarish-looking watch, but the Google one from Moto looks really nice. Nobody else has got a circular design electronic watch. New software will run on an array of smartwatches to be released later this year. According to Google, they'll perform many of the same tasks as a smartphone, but with fewer distractions and interruptions. The Android watches will be less conspicuous and perhaps less obnoxious than Google Glass, the high-tech headwear that includes a small camera and thumbnail-sized display attached to the frames that look like a pair of spectacles.
Now, but
You know what? If it goes really well and lasts a long time on a battery, I would consider moving up from the cable.
But does it have the from the winder, the pull-out winder with the strangle wire on it? No, I'm waiting for that one. So
it's funny after Samsung's released the Gear, which is effectively an Android watch anyway. It's strange. All the reviews I read say you're going to be lucky to get 8 hours out of it, and it's not going to last a day. And I can literally use mine all day for 2 or 3 days between recharges. So I don't know where this 8-hour thing came from.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably.
I think it's people who take a lot of photos and record a lot of movies and use it constantly for doing lots and lots of stuff instead of what you should be doing, a normal thing. It's like, I was listening to Leo's podcast today, and they were saying when a new update for iOS comes out and a lot of people complain it drains the battery flat, that's because you're sitting there all day trying out all the new cool features and draining the battery. When you go back to using it as a normal phone, you don't have the problem. When you go to using the Galaxy Gear Watch that you've got, as you would a normal watch, and look at things now and then, get your notifications and stuff, or talk to it once in a while, you're not just going to be sitting there doing everything for a couple of hours and then go, oh, the battery's gone flat, this thing is useless, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the Galaxy Gear I've got, I really enjoy it. Like, straight out of the box usage, okay, it's not super practical for much more than just a phone mediator, basically. But once you install a few things and you do some other stuff with it, it's pretty neat. Like, out of the box, it only takes 15-second videos, basically, for SMSs and things like that, rather than full-length videos. Although the camera is quite good and it does do 1080p, but I don't know. I use it all day, like on the phone as a speakerphone, which is fairly heavy on batteries because you're driving a little speaker all the time. And it lasts. It lasts 2 or 3 days. So I would actually probably struggle to flatten it.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to be doing some stuff on it to flatten it any quicker than that, though.
Yeah, cool. All right. Right, stop him again there. You bloody synergy stop working.
I think when the Moto one and LG come out, they're going to have to make the Gear work on everything.
Oh, they will.
You can't just is it Galaxy, is Samsung only work with Samsung devices?
Yeah, it's like, it's Android based, so that's not going to be a problem. It's just a matter of them putting in the correct, permissions, basically. But yeah, I think it's certainly a good base point. It was never designed to be a self-contained, thing.
They can't be, right? If they did, they'd need much bigger batteries and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Are we ready? Sorry.
He wants to capture the conversation.
I know. The conversations happen when I push
This
stop.
is valuable stuff, guys. Stop talking.
All right. It's in the video. That's what happens when you see, you watch the video, you get more verbal
Behind the
diarrhea.
scenes.
Crapping on.
That's
Yeah,
right.
more dribble, more verbal diarrhea. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's wait if that's going to work. That didn't work. Don't forget the Facebook page, facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads, and just go along and like it, and make sure you get the the updates or however you have to do it with Facebook. I don't know, it's crazy Facebook, but you hover over the like or something, and then it comes up how often you want to get the updates. All of them, none of them, some of them. Next doors updates or something. But yeah, go and get them, because on there every day, just about every day, we've got iOS free apps of the day and Android apps that are free on the day. Normally got to pay for them, but there's free ones of the day, and we put them up there. If there's anything decent for that day, we'll put them up there, and you guys can benefit in the free ones as well. So that's good. Oh, look, I found just by saying that. Look, I'll tell you, if you've got an iPhone, an iOS device, and you've got Google Calendar running, or your calendar or whatever, I have found the absolute best. Now, I won't give you a review. I just want you to go and have a look at it. It is the absolute best app of organising your day and stuff, and the way it does it. It puts it in a nice little, rate. No, I don't want to rate. Puts in a nice little photo up the top for you, and just put your stuff down the bottom. If you can see, it's too bright, but anyway, it's really good. It's called Tempo. I won't give you a review, because you'll just go and have a look at it, and you'll like it. It's free. I couldn't believe it. It's so good. Tempo, Tempo. But anyway, other than that, also the Aussie Mac Zone is another show that we do. It's on every week, and just look for it in your radio listing. I think it's on the Phase Network. It's at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that's on a Sunday. Okay, so that's tomorrow for some people. Cool. All right, so AussieMacZone.com.au if you want to get more Apple stuff into yourselves. Now, speaking of Apple, I've got a little Apple story. Apple retires the iPad 2, reintroduces iPad 4. Now, Apple has killed off the iPad 2 tablet on Tuesday, making the iPad 4 with Retina display the company's most affordable full-size 9.7-inch base model. So I guess the iPad 2 is just starting to flounder a bit, with all the new iOSs and new staff and all this sort of stuff.
And you need to get rid of that 30-pin connector finally.
Yes. The move to retire the iPad 2, introduced in 2011, coincides with the reintroduction of the iPad 4, which was dropped last year. So it had been out, if you remember, and it was dropped. But anyway, it has been unveiled that this will now be in the lineup along with the iPad Air. The iPad 4 has twice the pixel density as the iPad 2. Not that that really matters. Blah, blah, blah. Apple said in a statement that the iPad 4 offers a dramatic upgrade in power, performance, and value compared to iPad 2. It replaces the US introductory price of the iPad 4. 16 gig storage, Wi-Fi support is $400. And with LTE 4G will be $530. So there you go. You'd probably want to spend an extra $50 and get the Air, I'd say, wouldn't you? I don't know. Probably. Yep. Yeah, probably. All right. So bad luck and sucked in if you just bought an iPad 2. Oh, that was me. Damn it. So there you go. I knew I should have waited. Damn it. But anyway, look, I did have the iPad 2, and it was starting to get a bit sluggish, but then I updated to, I think this week, it came out, or just late last week, iOS 7.1, and that did free it up a bit, made it a bit more fluent. So I was happy with that update. So thanks, Apple. All right, Warlock, what else you got?
Well, a lot of people have a go at Microsoft for their insecurities and problem, but a mass compromise of Linux servers used to steal credentials and redirect traffic to malicious content has spread to Australia, security researchers have found. Security firm ESET analysed what it termed Operation Wendigo, a global malware campaign that used a backdoor in OpenSSH, which is, for people who don't know, is a secure system for connecting to computers, an open source version of the remote access interface secure socket shell used to administer servers. Over the past 2 years, ESET says more than 25,000 servers were affected. Of these, over 10,000 remain infected today, with hundreds located in Australia. We've seen more than 400 server infections related to Operation Wendigo in Australia. This means that Australians have been exposed to an increased level of annoyance, such as spam, advertisement, and malware.
I hate being
Wendigo
exposed.
infestation campaign forms a large complex network to build supporting infrastructure using Nginx reverse proxies, tiny DNS resolvers for domain name lookups, SSH tunnels for encrypted command and data communications, and deployment of Windows-based malware and drive-by attacks on visitors to infected sites. So,
Need to
not
get rid
just
of
the
them.
Windows has to worry about these kind of things.
No, well, a virus can be written for anything, I guess. So, yeah, that's
Even your
everywhere.
little Android phone.
Even the little Android phone, even the little Android watch, I would imagine. It'll soon get its
Yeah,
fair
wait till
share.
it comes to your watch.
Mm.
Put your calendar back a day, you won't know where you are.
No, oh geez, daylight
Or
savings.
if you just buy you could just buy an iPhone and wait till the start of the year, and it'll automatically put itself back a day.
Yeah, that's all right. So it's just Apple trying to give back. It's Apple giving back. You know, the most valuable thing in the world is time. It's trying to give you back a day. It's great. All right, Will, what else have you got?
I got a few actually. I'm having trouble deciding, but we'll go with this one because it's something that I would do. You guys, well, most people are familiar with Gumtree now. It's becoming fairly decent. It's still owned by eBay, but it's a more of a classified, like the old Trading Post sort of thing. So the story starts off. Shakespeare knew a thing or two about revenge, so it's fitting that a man who was conned on Gumtree is literally taking a page out of the book by sending the fraudulent merchant every single play via text. Ed Joseph from Bristol in the UK used the classifieds website to buy PlayStation 3, but after paying, the console never arrived. In a state of helplessness and anger, he decided to make much ado about this and decided to get his revenge by bombarding the unscrupulous seller with the entire works of Shakespeare via text message. He discovered you can copy and paste entire plays into a text message, but the phone breaks them down into 160 character sections, meaning all of Shakespeare's 37 works will buzz through to the fortunate seller in over 29,000 individual text messages.
Oh.
I was really annoyed, and I was trying to think of ways of being more in a position of power because I felt so hopeless. Then it occurred to me you can copy and paste it on the things on the internet into a text message. Mr. Joseph cleverly calculated the most disruptive time to send the text and began the SMS assault from Thursday and throughout the weekend. He began with Macbeth, which took 600 texts, then moved on to Hamlet, which sent another 1,100 to the seller. The seller did get in touch with Mr. Joseph after the first hour, but only with abusive messages. Then he called him to deliver verbal abuse, only to be confused when he was asked if he was enjoying the book.
Nice. You enjoying that book?
This hasn't put Mr. Joseph off yet, and he's continuing to send through his cultural come up, and so far he's sent 22 of the 37 plays. And I love, this is my favourite part down the bottom. It says, note, news.com.au does not condone the spamming of people on mobile phones, but we don't condone conning people either.
No. So, did it say how much this was costing?
Please unlimited text.
Oh,
part of his plan. So
dear, oh dear. That's crazy. That's
fantastic. I need to do that.
Yeah, well, if you got a lot of time on your hands, you could break it all down. Who was that guy?
Well, you don't need to.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, we had this story about some guy who was doing what movie was it? Days of Thunder, wasn't it? Yeah.
One frame at a time.
That's right, on the Twitter, sending one frame at a time on Twitter. Oh, don't these people have better things to do? Not like the guy with the chiseled down thumbs, so he could text better or something. Yeah. Anyway,
I thought that was fantastic. That's something I'm going to have to remember. I think I know a couple of people that deserve that.
Yeah. Well,
you just want to go and buy a prepaid phone and one of those $25 Android phones from Woolies and a prepaid SIM card and just leave it in the corner, copy the text, paste, and just let it go.
Well, I'll tell you one of my favourite little revenge tactics to businesses that I didn't like back in the day. When they had fax machines. I suppose they'd still have fax machines. You know, it's
a
just
black piece of paper.
Yeah, I used to
tape it.
Sit at home and with me little fax modem, but not just a blank bit. I used to just buy, open up in the editor something like a movie or something or a picture, because it wasn't movies back then, but a picture, and you just get just rubbish, pages and pages of rubbish, and so I just go, well, just fax that then. And I just, just spoofed the number so they didn't know where it was coming from, and just faxed it. And you could tell it just must have went for like 50 pages, and then it just dropped out of paper. But that's
I used to do it with using a black piece of paper or a black piece of card, and you'd length it through the fax and you tape it to itself, so it just rolled through all day.
Use up all Larry.
Oh, how good's that? Now, guess what? I got another.
This is the fun and games you kids miss out on these days.
I know. What are you going to do now?
Fax machine.
Yeah. Oh, it's like through the week. I don't know. I think I might have posted it on Facebook. I said, I said to a girl because I was at the Donut King or something, and I was buying a couple of donuts for the kids, and they pointed out the two little phones. You know, the old style, like an oblong phone. You know, like the old sort of style thing. And I said to her, "Oh, can I just have? I'll just have two of those walkie-talkies ones." And she goes, "Huh?" I said, "Those ones down there, those walkie-talkies. I'll have a pair of the walkie-talkies." And she didn't know what I was talking about. I said, "The phones?" And she goes, "Oh, yeah, righto." And I thought, well, a walkie-talkie's dead? Oh, my God. No, apparently not in some areas. Because, good stuff. All right. Now, look, I've got a quick little story. Oh, no, I won't. I'm going to do that later, I think, because I want to talk about that one some more. But I'll do that soon. Okay.
French.
Timer ran out.
All right. So, okay, let's come back here. What do we do on 35s? Okay, cool. And let's start back up again. Guess what my next story is all about? Office. Yay! Don't you love it? Don't you love it? Now, look, Office 365. Now, I've got a question that you guys might be able to answer me. Now, when you buy Office 365, you are buying a subscription. So
That's right. Yeah.
in 12 months' time,
Month.
what happens? It just stops working. You got to resubscribe. You got to go again. Okay. Now, Office 365 gets personal with $9 per month single subscription. Now, this is the US price. I think it works out. What was it? US? Because I saw. Anyway, it's cheaper. Office 365 is the Office subscription version. It includes Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and other software in the suite. Now, the Office 365 Personal allows one computer and one tablet to use the suite for $89 a year or a monthly payment of $9. So normally, and as of like now, currently, the Office 365 is a 5 license piece of subscription, if you will, and that I'm not sure how much that is. I think that's about $108 a year. Now, apparently, this personal version, it's only licensed for one, and that obviously they're gonna break it down to about $89 a year, $9 a month. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, the old one was 119 for 5 licenses, and the new one is $9 a month for $89 a year for Australian customers.
I think that I'd still prefer to buy it. I think you can get the home and office and home and student for about.
Well, it depends if you have the 2007 version, and then the 2010 and 2013, you're rebuying it anyway for all the new features and keep up to date with all the patches and stuff. Because 2007 they'll stop, patching it after a while, whereas this one will be 100% patched all the time and always have the latest thing because you're always subscribed.
Yeah,
and $89 a year is pretty good, I think.
Yeah, look, there's
like $8.
There's more and more stuff that's coming out subscription wise. Look, I don't know. I must be, from the sort of like the old school. I like to buy it because I don't like paying each year. I suppose.
And you lose your serial number, then you got to find some serial number off some dodgy website and blah blah blah. It's like the Steam for Office. Everything's in the cloud. You just log into your Outlook.com or Live.com address or whatever, and it knows who you are and how many licenses you paid and stuff, and downloads, and away you go again.
Yeah.
Get a new computer, log into your account, boom, you're done. You don't have to go, where was that serial number? I got emailed.
Yeah.
What account? No, I don't have that account anymore, and I didn't download the emails. And I don't know.
It's easy. Don't use Office. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Both these.
I don't know what the problem is. That's the easiest way to do it.
I'll tell you that Office 365. The Open Office. That's pretty good.
Open Office, exactly. It's fantastic. It does everything Office does and does a lot of things Office doesn't do.
Yeah, and there's also the Google Docs Office.
Google Docs?
Yeah.
And Google Docs really now has come a long way. It's would do 99% of things everybody wants it to do. There's still a handful of things it doesn't do, obviously.
The spreadsheet.
But for free and online, it's...
I think the spreadsheet's a little bit... if you're going to do complex stuff, you'd have to use Excel.
Oh, yeah.
But,
that's right. But
word processor.
or the Open Office Calc, I think it's called. But
that's not bad.
The only thing probably that there is no... not comparison for, because there is other equivalent programs, but is a publisher, because there's nothing that really opens the publisher file except publisher. There are DAT converters and stuff, but they never work properly.
Now
There are other programs. I use a couple of programs in place of Publisher, but if you get sent a Publisher file, you need Publisher.
well, you could probably get you can get like the viewers, can't you? Like a publisher viewer.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're not great.
Yeah, well, you
They
can't
never
edit.
seem to be
They
right.
do,
Yeah, you can't edit them,
Yeah.
but look, we've got a question from the lounge, which is quite pertinent to what we're discussing from Greg. Hi, Greg. Now, you might wonder what the lounge is, for those that don't know. The lounge is a group of people that come in and watch the show get recorded virtually live. So, hi to the lounge. Snuggle up, and we'll answer your questions. So, we got one here. When you subscribe, does it download the suite to your computer and work like traditional Office? Yes. As far as I know,
Yep.
yes, it does. So it takes you
And
into...
it knows, you have to log on each time to your account. So
Microsoft
don't
account.
think that you can install it on 20 computers for all your mates and stuff and then give them all your password because they'll see, what's this? 20 computers all logged into the one account?
Oh,
No. Block, block, block.
yeah, but other than that, you can it downloads to your machine, and I don't know, you don't probably do you have to log into your Microsoft account before you can use it each time. That's not an easy thing to get your head around, that Microsoft account. I've tried to set up a couple of those, and they're a
On
bit
my
tricky.
Windows 8, I log into the Microsoft account using that every day.
Oh yes, well I suppose so do I. Well, that's just like a normal login, isn't it, in Windows 8? And then it just happens to be, yes. Oh, yeah, it's so true. I suppose if that's how you set your computer up, you're already logged in, so that's all right. Yeah, so there you go. Okay. All right. Greg's replied. Nice. Cool. I'm glad you're happy. Both of these Office 365s also come with 60 minutes of Skype and 20 gig of additional OneDrive storage space. Oh, have we got...
Well, that's the thing. See, at the moment for our other podcast, I'm subscribed to Skype for $5 a month to be able to do video conferencing through Skype because otherwise you can do it one-on-one video, but you can't do it when you got 3 people. We've got 3 people doing our show. So one of us has to subscribe. So I subscribe for that for $5 a month. If I pay an extra, $2.50 a month, I can get that plus Skype calls, plus Office 365 all in one go. I might as well.
Yeah, you make a persuasive argument, I guess. Yes. Yeah, why not? Now, Microsoft reports that it's already signed up 3.5 million consumers to Office 365. Yeah, that's out there, isn't it? That's up there. That's a lot. Not in world standards, but that's a lot. All right, Jace, you got another one for us.
Yep, back into more hacking, I'm afraid. Using some trickery, hackers were able to breach Electronic Arts website, which is quite hilarious, and transform one of its pages into a bogus Apple login screen. So,
no.
You go, EA.com. Oh, I want to get some games. Oh, there's Apple. I better log into Apple because I obviously typed in apple.com and not EA.com. What? All right, some people got confused and tricked anyway. Once users logged into the fake site, they were prompted to input their credit card numbers, date of birth, and other personal information. Security firm Netcraft discovered the breach and notified EA on Tuesday. The game maker told CNET that investigated Netcraft's claims, and this Wednesday the phishing page is gone. We found it, we isolated it, and we're making sure such attempts no longer possible. Unfortunately, that doesn't help the people whose credit card details and personal information is already gone. But the way the hackers created the fake Apple screen was by accessing one of EA's game servers, according to Netcraft. The server hosted an outdated calendar that had several vulnerabilities and was likely the way they got into the system and set up the page.
There you go.
If you go to EA.com and it pops up, please log into Apple.com. Don't log into Apple.com because it's not Apple.com, it's EA.com.
I didn't hear that takeover. Yeah. Oh, okay. Apple, okay.
Well, they sell so many applications and games and stuff through the iPhone and iPad and that.
Yeah, well, there you go. As you mentioned, it was the vulnerability came via an outdated calendar app or outdated calendar code that they were using. So if you're running a website out there, make sure all your little codes, scripts, modules, whatever you got, make sure they're all up to date.
Using the Fantastico or the Soft Delicious that you've got, it sends you an email all the time saying, hey, new version is out. Click here to upgrade.
And even most of the time, the Softaculous or whatever it's called, it's with the like the ATH web hosting that we go on about because it's great. You can install like WordPress, Joomla, all these sort of things, just by pushing 2 buttons, you probably got it all installed.
Drupal.
Oh, and Drupal, of course. We can't forget the Drupal. And it's all, it keeps itself up to date pretty much. You can set it so that all the important updates, it just updates itself. But you might have that going on in the background, and automated. But don't forget, you might have like little calendar apps like EA might have had, and you might have little...
I had a site one time where I was running a little upload application in PHP, which I didn't use for months and months, but it was still just sitting on the server. And then I got an email from my web host saying, hey, your site is sending out spam emails to thousands of people. We shut down your site today. And I was like, what? I'm on holidays. There's nothing going on. I had to log in via 3G, and I found out that somebody had used this script, which I'd forgotten completely about. It was just still sitting in there. And they got onto my system, used it to upload other PHP because it wasn't sanitizing what was being uploaded. So it was uploading PHP web pages. And then they were using that. They just cut and paste in 50,000 email addresses, hit send, and it was spamming them from my web server. So if you got stuff there that you're not using, get rid of it. If it's outdated, update it, people.
That's right, yeah. So, because with this soft secureless little script installer, because it's so easy, I've fallen for it as well. You go, I might just actually I've done one the other day. I might just install that, and then you go, nah, don't really like that, and then you forget about it, but it's still there, and the nasty little script kiddies can still find it, and they can still cut and paste email addresses and do their darndest to bring your site down. I'll tell you, you don't want your site brought down or
Keep your
suspended.
WordPress up to date too. I found out a lot of people were mainly they were hacking WordPress stuff by doing a search in Google for like WordPress 3.0.1, and a lot of the WordPresses say at the bottom of the page, this page was rendered in WordPress 3.0.1, which gives away the fact that you're running an outdated version. So they go, oh, we can hack that one. They just make a database of all the sites that have got the old version on there that they know has got a vulnerability. So maybe you could take that out of your footer, guys.
Yes, that's right. But it's easy. There's heaps of pages out there on how you can secure up your WordPress, especially. That seems to be the most popular. You don't have.
I got a really simple plugin called, I think it's called Login by Math. And you type in username and password, but then you have to answer a little math question like, what's 11 plus 2?
Yeah.
And if you don't type in that extra field, which their automated scripts don't know about, then they can't get into your site. They can't spam. They can't do comment spam or any of that stuff.
But there's other things that you can do as well. I think there's a script that I think I've used called Better Security, and it'll analyze your site once you've installed it, and it goes through and says, you might want to change the name of your login from admin to something else. You might want to hide your admin directory because what's in WordPress? I think the admin directory is just WP admin or something.
Yep.
So you
the same on all of them. That's why.
Yeah, so you just change it to John Bombs or something, and then it just makes things a little bit harder. If people
let me write that down.
John Bombs. Okay. That's right. All right. Okay. Well. I've got emails. Okay. Let's go and do something.
That was your malware blades going off again.
Let's go and do something else. All right. Save.
Office 2011 on Mac, but Microsoft said they're bringing out a new one this year, so that's good.
Of which
Finally,
one?
Mac gets a bit of love.
Which was that?
Office 2011 for Mac is the latest one. They said, we mentioned a couple episodes ago that Microsoft's finally announced they're going to bring out another one for the Mac.
All right. Will, do you want to bring us back with some stories?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got a nice quick tip and then a story.
All right. Well, I'll let you put you on screen, and you just talk so you can get on the screen.
Hang on, let me just adjust my camera. Either I keep moving and sitting up, or my camera keeps. I'm either suffering from droopage or uprightness. I'm not sure.
Just droopage. Hang on, I'll stop that. All right, now, Will, you just go whenever it takes your little fancy.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. I've got a couple of things for you, just quickly. One little handy little hint: if you're using Android 4.2 or newer, they've added. Well, it's always been there, but they've made it very easy to access the developer options, which allows you to have more settings than you would normally have. All you have to do is go into your options screen and scroll down till you get to the where you would normally see down the bottom there, either about device or about phone or something like that. Now, if you tap that 7 times, the first 3 it doesn't register, and then from then on it counts down. It goes, you have 4, 3, 2, then 1, and then it says you're now a developer. and we all know probably why it's repetitive like that. To some, there's a certain meme about that. So it opens up this other developers menu. Some of them were there. There was things like things you could do previously, like the keep screen on and things like that. But there's a lot of new things in here now. That you can do things like the Windows animations and the backdrop animations and the scrolling animations, and you probably can't see that, but there's all the scaling, which is the transition speed from one window or one screen to the next. And if you go in there and you set those to half speed, or even turn them off altogether, like I have, it makes the phone so much more punchy. It's not sitting there waiting for that transition to finish, using processing and graphics power to make that transition and then load up the next screen. It's just instant bang, 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 which makes it feel much more snappier, even though it's not actually, it's a bit of a cheat way. It's like turning Aero off in Windows. It doesn't actually, well, unless you've got a really bad video card, it doesn't actually make it any quicker. It just makes it feel quicker.
Do you reckon?
But it does save on battery power as well, because you're not waiting that extra half a second every time you change the screen.
Now, that person who came up with the seven tap idea. Now, I reckon he's probably about my age. Remember when we were kids, or maybe not you, Will, but you wanted a free phone call from the public phone, so you used to pick up the receiver and you used to go ting 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 on the on the thing.
Go back to the operator.
Yeah, or do you go all you had to do was go ding, or hang it up 9 times or something in a row, and then you could could dial your number, and easy.
Yep, I remember that.
Well, what happened to public phones?
Back when they had public payphones.
That's right. They're few and far between now, aren't they? Don't see them everywhere.
I got one down the corner next to the newsagents, and I think that one services the entire Ipswich district, I think.
Yeah. Well, did you used to go around to these public phones, and you know how you had the little coin refund slot, had a little flap on it? We used to go around and put the cardboard up behind the slots so the money wouldn't come out. And then, you go
back around and pop it out.
The next day, just pull the thing,
Well, the other thing you do,
the whole dollar.
Back in the day when they first brought out phone cards, before they had the magnetic strip in them, the first phone cards literally were basically like a business card, and the phone used to punch holes in the card at certain points and told you how much credit it had left.
Yep.
So you got a bit of sticky tape and you put down over the holes, and you could put the phone card back in again. But they fixed that later on when they brought out the magnetic strips and things like that. But yeah, initially it's like, really, that's your way to... You're going to trust people? How long do you reckon that's going to take?
Yeah, like what would
Or you could do the old trick of recording on a tape on a Walkman. You'd record the beeps when you drop the coins into the slot, and you'd put like 50-cent coins in. You'd record the beeps, and then you'd hang up, get your money back, pick up the phone, and dial a number. And when it told you to put money in, you just play it back, and it'd play the beep back, and it'd trigger it.
Oh, I never heard of that scam. I wasn't that advanced. Jeez, I did have a Walkman. I had a Sony Walkman, little blue one. But what about soft drink machines? You used to rip them off. You used to be able to stick your hand up the thing, but you could.
Back when my arm wasn't the size of a bloody that is now.
Yeah, but it had the
good old days.
It had the 2 prongs, didn't it? It's like holding the can up there. So what we had to do was you had to get up there, open the can, let the gas out so you could squeeze the can and pull it down. You had to be really fast because you got all the soft drink all over your hand. But we used to do that. Oh, geez, we're bastards. All right.
There was also another one you'd do with the when they first went to the really square Coke machines with that had the big square buttons on them.
Mm-hmm.
What you could actually do is you could get there with both hands and you'd press on all of them at the same time.
Yeah,
and it'd give you 4 cans, one of each.
Oh, nice. Oh, Will, I should have had your number when I was growing up. We could have been rich by now. We could have scammed everything. Would have been good. All right, did you have another quick little one to go with now?
Just quickly, and to be honest, this story shouldn't take anybody by surprise, but apparently there's people out there who still don't realise this, that the NSA can collect 100% of the calls of a target country and reach as far back as 1 month with tools called Mystic and Retro. This was in a document that was leaked by the former NSA contractor Edward Snowden. It's something that most people have known about for a long time, but a lot of people don't realise that any country in the world, anywhere, anytime, your phone call is being recorded. And the best way to prove that is when you start a phone call, you start talking about terrorism and bombs, and I guarantee your call will be disconnected for a couple of seconds until it gets reconnected when the system picks up on it. So,
but I suppose would you be game to do that, Will, as a test?
Oh yeah, we do it all the time. That's great.
My friends and I used to do that back in the 90s.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Don't
this
do
system's
that.
been around. Officially, it still doesn't exist, and it's still being denied, and it still doesn't exist, and there's no way that we have the technology to do that sort of thing. But estimates and educated reports put it back probably as early as the late 80s. A system, at least to some degree of this system, was in place back then, and it's just being more and more developed. And the cool part about it, from a technological standpoint, the system is so amazing. They can say, I want this number, every call from this number, or I want every call that happened in this district, or I want this particular person. The voice recognition recognizes that voice and it matches up all those voices, or I want these words. So they bring in a list of words that people have spoken in the last month and they go, I want every conversation that's had this word in it. And I mean, from a technological standpoint, it's an amazing piece of technology. I wish they'd stop denying it and actually release it. And
yeah, so we can
the
use
amount
it.
of things that this technology could be used for is actually really amazing.
Yeah.
It would advance so many different industries.
Yeah, I could be recording next door neighbours' phone calls. Oh, God. Bring it out. Let us have it.
What, you're not? What's
Yeah,
wrong with
well,
you?
Oh, well, you know. Yeah.
Not as
Well,
far
the
as
old,
they know.
speaking of
No,
speaking
I'm
of the
not.
old days, remember the old analog cordless phones back before they went to the digital signals?
Yeah,
You'd more often than not, you'd pick up the line and your neighbour was talking on it, and you're like,
yeah.
I
get
had
off.
that happen.
Yeah, how did
I
that
had that
happen?
happen there. You could listen to the neighbours' calls.
Yeah,
Yeah, or you'd pick it up and you'd walk around the neighbourhood with it till you started picking up phone calls.
yeah, you used to get cross lines every now and then, but cross lines seem to be the thing of the past. Oh,
Your mum
God.
used to work in an exchange, a PNG exchange back.
PNG.
That's how long ago that was.
Gee.
And she used to be one of the little operators, sat there, and she actually was what they'd call a night shift operator, and she actually had the exchange in her bedroom at home. So overnight, if the phone rang, she'd have to get up and divert the call to where it needed to go.
Yeah, right. Well,
Craig likes to look at your phone, Will.
The Note 3, the sexy looking Note 3, I've actually got it. You guys will be impressed. I've got a militarized rubber casing on it that has also a front, but obviously you can't use it with the front on it.
He said he
it's just
heard
built-
that it's a bit smaller than the other notes. Is that right?
The overall dimensions are actually a little bit smaller. Like it's a couple of mil in every direction. It's about probably 4 or 5 mil thinner. It's half as thick as the old Note, but the screen's actually a 1/4 inch bigger. I think they've expanded it. It comes right down to the button here. It comes right down and right up as far as the speaker up the top. So, and
I like
the
coffee too.
yeah, I've got video on here of the Keith Urban concert we went to last weekend, and I was sitting 3/4 way back of the arena, and I was digitally zoomed in, taking 1080p video of a backlit screen, and it's as clear as day. Like it's it's actually better than being there. It's the sound. It's got 2 microphones in it, and the sound is, you know how normally concerts distort them, and you get nothing but crystal clear, pitch perfect. I'm just completely blown away with what it's able to do for a phone.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Yeah, good stuff, Android. Yeah, whatever. Good stuff. All right. Let's go with, what are we going to do? Oh, the Aussie. Yeah, you guys love your tech radio? Well, how about AussieTechRadio.com? Wall to wall, 24/7, shoutcast or podcast, you know, whatever they are, via shoutcast, tech podcast, tech shows, whatever. There's heaps of them. Techwebcast.info. There's us. There's the Aussie Mac Zone. There's everything. iBlind Tech, Garth, Cool Blind Tech. There's a Dusty Cartridge. There's the 2 guys talking tech, and there's Geeksphere TV. There's too many. I can't even think of them all. There's too many. Go and have a look on there. If you got a show that you want us to put on, that's sort of got to be pretty much tech related, like hence AussieTechRadio.com, .com. Just send me an email at glenn@aussietechheads.com.au, and we'll bung it up there for sure. Now, look, moving on to how about this revelationary new thing from Google? Well, not new, but it's 1 cent per gig. Now, this is what Google plans to be charging for storage in the cloud. 1 cent per gig. Sounds all right, doesn't it? Google has upped the ante in the online storage battle by taking the axe to its drive service pricing this week, dropping the cost to as little as 1 cent. This puts it about 2% of the price 2% of the price of Amazon's consumer-focused offering Amazon Cloud, and on par with Amazon's web services' cheapest product, the Glacier, archiving and backupping solutions. While Google hasn't changed the amount of space that's available for free, which is 15 gig, which you can sign up for and get straight away, Google Drive now charges substantially less per month for its paid plans. So you can grab 100 gig for $1.09. This is US, so it's not going to be too much more. Probably Google doesn't do Aussie dollar rates, do they? I think they just go, well, $1.99.
No, they're pretty good generally.
Yeah, transfer it over. So $1.99 per month for 100 gig. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. Because like you'd probably have a few, a lot of storage. 1 terabyte per month, $10. $10 a month. So now if we have a look at things like the OneDrive, which is Microsoft, they've got 7 gig free. So for 100 gig, Google is now $2 a month. 100 gig from Microsoft is $50. And if you look at Dropbox, 100 gig is $10. Geez, Microsoft's expensive, isn't it? It's most expensive out of the whole lot. Yeah, right. Oh,
yeah, they've they've got no reason to be cheap because nobody uses their product anyway. You might as well just pay more for it.
Yeah. So with the Google Drive, you can get apps and stuff on your phone, can't you, to access the documents that you upload and all that sort of stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Well, the thing is about Drive is it's not just documents; it's everything. You can put any file you want up there, up to I think we were playing with it the other day. I think the limit was they say one gig, but I've actually put up a 2.5 gig video. So
Right.
I think it must depend on what sort of file it is. It depends on what they limit you to. But I mean, the only thing I wish they'd make easy to do is instead of me right-clicking on something saying download, I wish I could go right-click, send to Drive.
Well, you can in Gmail.
Yeah, but I mean, like just generally on the net, like integrate into Chrome because let's face it, they own Chrome anyway. So if there was a thing that would say send to my drive or download to my drive, and then I could have a system set up in place where every night after midnight, for example, I just pull the most recent stuff off my drive.
Yeah, that'd be all right. But you
or
do syncing
if you're on 3G and you go, I really want to grab that, but it's like 400 gig and I don't want to use all my data, I'll just send that to my Google Drive, and then when I get home, I'll download it, so I haven't got to go and track down that website again.
Yeah. Look, that's awesome. So for a year, you could have a 1 terabyte, storage space for a year, and it costs you $120. That's pretty reasonable, I would imagine, for anyone in anyone's standards. Cool. All right.
I have to admit though, if you've got a 1 terabyte of, I mean, you don't sort of think of it as storage. You think of it as like a drive that you use. The storage you generally think of as, Backblaze or one of the backup mobs. You think of online storage, and they're only like they're like $30 a year or so for unlimited storage. So I guess they've got to figure out now: are they aiming at being online storage, or are they aiming at being an online filing system?
Well,
like
that's right.
My computer, but online.
But I think you probably hit it on the head. Excuse me, where you said before, you want to be each night you got to drag your new stuff across. Well, your Backblaze and your Crash plans, they actually do sync, so they know what's new. So that's probably the advantage still there with those ones. But I mean, like I was using, because what I do is through the day, like I'll take photos of stuff that I'm looking at, or whatever through the day on the phone. And then I'll come home, because at stage you're writing stuff down, like someone goes, can you see if you can find a driver for this printer? So I'll just take a photo of it, and then save writing it down on a bit of paper. So anyway, I come home, I've got all these photos, I email them to myself, they come to me through the email, I just get them, there's a little button there, it says transfer to Drive, so I go click, transfers it over to the folder in my Drive, Suite, which is under the customer's name sort of thing, if you know what I mean. And then I'll put that link for that section there, the Drive page that I'm on, where I send everything to, I'll put a link into my Evernote, which is the customer record. So sweet as. But all right,
That's it.
Yeah. Look, I think Jace has got a couple more stories, and we're going to try and punch through these ones if we can, Jace.
Yeah, I've got one more here. Telstra is looking to get more of its customers to begin offering public Wi-Fi services through the launch of a new plug-and-play cloud-controlled Wi-Fi managed service. Telstra has already been targeting public Wi-Fi as one of its growth areas and has deployed public Wi-Fi in ANZ Stadium with Cisco. Aaron Long, Telstra's General Manager, Managed Network Services Practice, told attendees at Cisco Live in Melbourne on Thursday that Telstra would look to expand into other stadiums around Australia, but said that as part of the managed Wi-Fi service offering, Telstra would now include a cloud-based managed service. I think I'm officially the first person to say that Telstra will be launching a managed Wi-Fi cloud solution, he said. It's about how does Telstra look at different segments of the market. If you want a scale-out solution, a simple solution, and one we can deliver in traditional managed service provider way, then this may be the Wi-Fi solution we can help roll out as quickly as possible. Whether it be in the traditional market space, tier 2 retail, or anyone that's looking for a simple Wi-Fi deployment, where as much as possible it can be plug and play. The solution is built using the Cisco Meraki Wi-Fi management platform that would allow customers to control their wireless access points via the cloud. Cisco acquired Meraki in late 2012 for $1.2 billion.
Ooh, there's a lot of money out there in technology, isn't there? Now, look, Will, I know you got
The only concern with that, just quickly, the only concern with that is it's going to end up like Telstra's free Wi-Fi where it's 11K a second, and that's just to get to the login screen,
Yeah, look, everyone's sprouting out about this free Wi-Fi. I've yet to come across a decent one. The
funny thing is, in Melbourne, when was I in Melbourne? 99, 2000, thereabouts. They had free hotspots. I mean, they weren't Wi-Fi, obviously, but they had free network points literally around the city that you could plug your laptop into.
Yeah, right.
And all you had to do was register with, I think they used to be called Freenet or something like that. You had to register with them. And then the only condition was you used their browser, which put a little ad down the bottom of every page you went to.
You just had to sign up with Botnets R Us and you are away. Plug your laptop in and away you go. All right.
Pretty much.
Yeah, now look, I've got a couple of quickies, and I know, Will, you got some couple of quickies as well for later, or do you want to do them now? Whatever you want. I'll do my quickies first. We can end with you if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
Whichever. I'm good.
All right. Okay. How about this one? Flappy Bird to return, says the creator. Of course.
Don't go without 1 week without a Flappy Bird.
We can't. No way. I saw it and I thought, we've got to put the Flappy Bird in there for sure. So Flappy Bird looks like it's coming back, but not too soon. He's leaving us on the tenterhooks again. Mr. Nguyen replied, adding, "I don't work by plan. I will release it when it's done." Oh, geez, he's just so loose, man. He's cool and hip. Mr. Nguyen removed the popular game in February, saying its popularity has ruined his simple life. Oh, poor guy. Dear, oh dear. In an interview earlier this month with Rolling Stone, Nguyen said he was moved to remove the popular mobile game from the App Store after users wrote to him detailing how the game had destroyed their lives. And now the other one I have here is something quite interesting. I think it's a bit of a turn up for the books. Actually, Mark Zuckerberg's got a bit upset, and is upset enough to call the president. So apparently, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg said he has called President Barack Obama to express frustration over US digital surveillance. No.
Called him what?
Yeah, a kettle. Now, the 29-year-old said in a blog post, the US government should be champion for the internet, not a threat. His comments come a day after, blah, 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 NSA Snowden bloke again. Zuckerberg said in September that the US blew it on internet spying. But I mean, isn't that what Facebook does? Collects all this personal data. It's the same thing.
Well, actually, it's funny you should mention that. This wasn't the story I was going to do because everyone's sick of Facebook stories. But speaking of Zuckerberg and Facebook, there's an article that's just been released saying that Facebook has the largest online storage of photos and movies of people in the world. Basically, everybody in the world pretty much has their photo on Facebook. And Facebook now, the technology behind Facebook is that powerful that it can automatically tag anybody on any photo that's put up with 97.25% accuracy. So, I mean, that's scary that it can do that. And according to Mark Zuckerberg, they've only just started to work on their facial recognition software. So Google can do it, Facebook can do it.
The government's
apparently the government can do it.
Why is he getting upset? That's the thing. Like, why is Zuckerberg upset when he's doing it? He's doing it. That's what he's done.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's the deal with with it because, as you say, he's the one he's doing the thing that he's going crook about the government doing. Although I have to admit, he's probably talking more about digitally spying on people, tracking their steps. So hang on, no, that's Google.
All right, well, give us a couple of quickies, and we got to get out of here.
All right, the last story I was going to quickly do. It's been officially released this year. The tech we're too embarrassed to use. So the list is out, and
takes batteries.
There's a couple of things in here that I wouldn't have expected to see. Bluetooth headsets, still the number one biggest don't use item on the not in public anyway. Different if you're driving in your car, but don't walk into a cafe with a Bluetooth headset in your ear and think you look cool because according to the
those little ones that sit in your ear.
According to the article.
Just those little,
there is. Little jawbones and things.
Oh, they look
but you're still
awesome.
sitting there talking to yourself. I mean, it doesn't look good.
They're awesome.
And basically the way they've written is the Bluetooth headset's a plastic device, usually the size of a Tim Tam, sticking out of your ear so you can operate your mobile without holding it. Catch sight of anybody using one, and we all know the same words we call them. So, I mean, okay, it's fine. As I said, when you're driving, not a problem. When you need your hands free at an office or whatever, not a problem. But don't sit in the corner of the cafe talking to yourself and having a latte. It's just not cool anymore.
You just walk down the street to find people doing that, but they haven't got a headset in. They're just mental.
Yeah. We've been walking down the street with me, have you?
It's very off-putting.
The second one is 3D. We admit it. We leapt into the 3D bagwagon and smooshed ourselves up against the rest of the world, hoping for a revolutionary entertainment experience.
I love good smooch.
At first, it was a novelty. Now we're just sick of it, and we're devastated that we spent so much money on something we don't use.
Well, yeah. I never spent any money. So, don't use it, didn't spend any money.
Yeah.
I'm a winner. Woo.
Yeah, exactly. I never bought into that. That's one thing I never bought into, strangely.
Yeah.
Voice commands. The likes of Siri, which is the iPhone one, or Xbox Connect, and now the in-car technology, things like that. The theory sounds great, but have you actually tried talking to your gadgets without feeling a little bit of dignity being stripped away? Or have you actually ever tried to use your real voice, not the voice that it wants you to use? It's like talking to a cross between a dog and a baby. So it's all fine and dandy. Unless it's on the bridge of the Starship Enterprise, voice command should be kept at bay.
Yeah, I've got one. Siri. Hang on, I've got one, Will. I've got one. Hang on. I have to start again because... Hang on, I'll start again. See what happens. Hang on, go, Siri. Warp 1, engage.
Okay, check it out.
Oh, so put me up.
That was me away.
Yep.
That's
to the bottom line, it just makes us feel silly. Yep, that's perfect. Thanks for that, Glenn.
So, it's brought up a Wikipedia page of... It says, an engagement or betrothal is a promise to marry and also the period of time between proposal and marriage. What's she talking
Betrothal.
about? What are you talking about?
Perhaps I misunderstood you.
Yeah, you certainly did. All right.
Next on that list is electronic cigarettes. Anybody was under the assumption smoking was cool. The electronic cigarette will swiftly stub that out. The faux fags vaporize a cartridge of liquid nicotine. Can I still say that? That uses inhale. It's like smoking without the smoke or the other chemicals found in tobacco. So basically, it's a nicotine hit. They're pretty neat. They are actually coming down in price, and for people who do smoke and can't give it up, and you're in meetings and offices and things like that, you're perfectly able to use these because it's only steam that comes out the end to make it look like a smoke anyway. I don't think they're a bad thing. For some reason, they're bagging them here, but I think that's probably written by somebody who's got links to a cigarette company. Smartwatches. The smartwatch is trying its best to work its way under our wrist, but so far it's not happening. Yes, they can display emails and text without you reaching into your pocket to look at your phone because we all know how hard that is. But when it comes to style, they're bulky and ridiculous. Now, I don't find that to be true at all. There's some really nice looking phones with faces, with kits available. Look at the Pebbles, for example. There's some really nice options with those.
I want the Bam Bam to come out. I'll get one of them.
Yeah. And there's about two left on here. The second last most ridiculous device is Google Glasses. The revolutionary bunch over at Google have developed a pair of specs that basically acts like your smartphone but strapped to your face. They beam information to one lens, and there's even a built-in camera so you can record your day. Try holding a conversation with this man and not be put off by his cyborg specs. So, I mean, they're great, don't get me wrong. I want a pair, and I don't care if you are put off. Tough. Deal with it.
Bad luck.
And last but not least, certainly not least after you've seen some of the other stuff that's available, is oversized headphones.
Oh,
Somehow
yes.
the big headphone has become a bit of a thing. We blame Dr. Dre Beats and the adoption of tasteless sports stars. The E-cups are the size of burger buns and far more fashion statement than substance that make us all look like wannabe DJs or Princess Leia's in the process.
Yes,
So-
I've taken pictures of people with those big muffs on because they look ridiculous. So if you got a pair, chuck them out. They're ridiculous. I used to wear them 30 years ago.
We use them. Well, I mean, myself and Warlock and most of us podcasters to some degree use them because we actually, we're in a studio sort of environment and they're studio sort of headphones. So that kind of works. But when you're walking down the street, and it's not just the ones like the I'm wearing now, it's the big 80s square ceramic or Bakelite cups with the echo chambers built into them and the volume knobs on the side.
Yeah.
That's not a cool look, people.
No.
Especially if you've got your ghetto blaster on your shoulder and you're rapping out to run DMC and
Oh yeah, baby! I remember those days. Oh, Will, I could picture you. Will, I could picture you. All right, Will. Well, thanks very much for that. Thanks, Warlock. We got to get out of here. It's way over time. So thanks, Warlock. Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
Thanks, Will. Thanks for coming in, and thanks everyone that's listening. And hopefully, you'll be listening to us next week when you tune in once again for another great big show of Aussie Tech Heads. So until then, take care. Bye for now. Ta-da.
See you then. Cheers, guys.